Okay, now that we're back here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings on our street. I'm going to teach you a little trick here about how to add buildings in behind here. So if we want to show some depth behind our buildings here, things we can do are like come straight out of the top of one of these buildings here. And I'm going to come out of, we'll just do a little one right here. So coming straight out parallel of this top building here, I'm just going to draw a little line that comes up like this. I'm going to take this down to both my points until they hit a building, which shouldn't be very far on these guys. Over to here, take them down to both hit a building there. This one I might just bring down. This one I think I'll just let run off that way. Maybe I'll cut them off over here like this. And that's all you got to do. Just bring the line up, take it to your 2 points, and then cut them off if you need to on both sides. And you'll have a little building that kind of sticks out back here by itself. And it'll kind of add some depth, like you got rows and rows of buildings sitting behind this guy. Okay, so thing I didn't do before, I didn't go through, I need to erase a lot of my lines in between here. Just a little cleanup stuff. These are lines that we don't need. You really can't see them too much anyway, but just for a nice clean picture, I want to make sure we have them out of there. Okay, you can see I added some bigger kind of streets or alleyways in between some of my buildings here, which you'll be able to see why later on. I'm just going to get rid of some of these lines down here too. Okay, so we've got quite a few buildings in here. I think it's time to add some details to these. So what I'm going to teach you now is how to add things like doors and windows to your buildings. Kind of spice them up a little bit. So here's how this is usually done. The verticals of the windows are always staying vertical. All vertical lines go straight up and down throughout the entire piece. You just got to make sure that the tops and bottoms of your windows are once again going to your vanishing points. So if it's on this would be your left side of the building over here, all these windows would go towards this vanishing point. If it's on the right side of a building, they're going to go towards this vanishing point. Left side over here, right side over here. So you got to make sure that your windows are always going towards your vanishing points, otherwise it will not look right. So for instance, if I wanted to put some windows on this building here, what I like to do is just go ahead and draw some verticals that are next to the edges of my building here like this. Just put some on here, line this up a little bit, bring it over, take this down. Okay, and I'll just throw some lines starting up here. I'll line my ruler up at the top, and I'll throw some lines that go across. I'll just use my pencil as a pivot and just move this down as I go. It creates a nice easy way of showing some real simple window lines, and it looks like they belong there as opposed to just drawing squares on there, which would look strange and out of place. So I'm trying to keep these equidistant from each other. Maybe one more. I can't stop. One more. There we go. Last one there. Okay, so now we have some little lines there. And now you could go back and add some lines in between if we wanted to, divide these up like these were kind of apartment complex windows or something. You could do that. That'd be nice too, okay? If you wanted to put like a little door at the bottom, once again, your vertical lines stay vertical like this. Just want the top of the door to line up to this point over here, like that. You could put a nice split in half. You can put your little, door like that. Spice it up a little bit by just putting some little lines next to it. Make it line up with this over here. Gives a little border, you can put a little decorative stuff in there like that. Just kind of give it a little extra, okay? So that's good too. If you want to do things like billboards, like the top, like let's say this is a department store once again, you want to make sure that you line up your verticals straight up and down, just like we did before with the windows. Okay, line the top of your billboard with that point on the right this time. Bottom of the billboard with the point as well. Take them over. And you can darken this guy in just like this. There we go. And then you have a nice billboard sticking out of your building. Sometimes it's nice to add like a little bit of shadow on this side, so I'll double darken in this one and kind of put a little shadow underneath to kind of show that this has got some depth to it. Makes it look nice and unique there too. And of course you could write whatever you wanted if you wanted to kind of split this up. You just want to make sure your writing is on line with the vanishing points as well. So, you know, you want to make sure if you're going to write, I don't know, if this is Macy's. Does anyone still remember Macy's? You know, that your lining goes down with this. All right. You wouldn't want to just draw it straight across. Okay, so you get the idea. That's kind of nice there too. All right, so I'm going to speed the video up here. I'm going to add a whole bunch of windows and doors and stuff like that, make my entrances. This all looks nice. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back here. I've got some details in my buildings now to make them a bit more unique and different. Some of the stuff I did was add some grid windows, some block windows, some big just plain pane windows. I got 2 billboards here, some vertical windows. Some of these just add designs on the side of them, kind of make them cool sometimes. So don't be afraid to just experiment and do something new and different and unique. Sometimes what you can get is kind of interesting along the way. So just putting some little details on there can kind of make it kind of fun and different and unique. Okay, so things we can do now that we have our buildings here is add some actual street details here as well. So if you want to add a sidewalk to this, all you have to do is come out from your corner building here, come down just a little bit, put a point there, and then take this point, of course, to your 2 perspective points as well, and we can add nice and light sidewalks to this. There's a sidewalk that sits out in front here like this, sidewalk like that. If you want to add some depth to your sidewalk, come down just a bit further, put a second point just right below it, and take that back there, and it looks like your sidewalk is kind of coming off the ground. It's got some thickness to it like that. Okay. If you want to add sidewalk lines, this throws people off quite a bit. They just want to start throwing lines in here as fast as they can. Make sure that the lines on this side, since they are going this way, are going to this point. The lines on this side are going to this point over here. So it's real easy just to kind of put your pencil down over on this one, and you start right there always, and just like use this as a pivot and put some real sidewalk lines in here. Now, obviously, the further away they get, the closer they're going to get together. Okay, so as you go up, you want to make sure that you are getting closer and closer together on these guys. You kind of have to eyeball it, but it's a good way to show distance going off here. All right, now if you have something like this later on, this might be a street that's coming out, you want to make sure you stop your sidewalk lines there for a moment, and then you come back, and when you cross the street again, you can start them back up. All right, do one there. Okay, so we have sidewalk lines going this way, and we'll do some going this way as well. I'll be right back.